So it is now becoming common practice for Gracie and I is going to forest parks. So here we are at this one, which is right sort of at the end of the crescent of the beach that we just left. Very easy to get here. You just keep driving around on the road until the road ends. And this is Fisherman's Village area as well. Signs in English here is also, which is kind of cool. Another thing that they have at a lot of these places is campsites, so it's kind of cool. Now I assume that these are federal parks, simply because this seal seems to be the common one, and it looks fairly federal to me, as it's the Department of National Parks and Wildlife Plant Commission. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, and they seem to have two labels. They usually have urban forest, and they usually have forest park. That seems to be common with them all. These are the most colorful boats, and very picturesque seeing them here. I can only imagine that they fish either in the late evening or early morning hours, which is, I believe, if you can see, like for example, in the top of this guy's, right? You see the lights there? What I believe they do is they go out at night, they turn the lights on, the fish then come to the surface, and then they get them. Gracie, look. All right, off we go. Shall we walk to the viewpoint?
Where's the viewpoint?
This way. Open from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the evening. And there's the visitors center, so I guess we should go in there first. This is a map of Thailand. We are basically sort of like here, pretty much. Here we go. You know what I think? California's got some pretty good parks, you know, the state parks and that sort of thing. I don't think I've ever been to a federal park in the United States. But the state parks in California are pretty good. Arizona, pretty good. Florida, I think, has the best state parks. That's been my experience, meaning that they always seem to be staffed with the right amount of people. They're the cleanest. They have the best, it seems, trash pickup. All the restrooms seem to be fully functional and cleaned. And they're very reasonably priced. The parking is always inexpensive. And they seem to take good care of them. So, okay, now the good news on this one, compared to the one in Cha'am, is that viewpoint, any luck, the viewpoint sign will be accurate. Actually, well, I'll pause and let this guy in front of us go a little bit further in front of us so he doesn't have to necessarily listen to me. So I was going to let this guy get ahead of us so he didn't have to listen to me. And then Gracie had this idea that she believed she labeled him as a lifeguard, meaning that he was more of a tour guide. The other neat thing I've noticed here in Thailand is that they have their plants labeled, and not just like in parks, right? So they have them labeled in like our condo complex. Oh yeah, well you could definitely cut your feet, that's for sure, yeah. So that's a nice, that's it. Oh, so that's the other thing that's nice about Thailand. So where we're staying, they have a whole bunch of notification that like, hey dude, if you go swimming, you're gonna get attacked by a jellyfish. Oh yeah, that would totally carve up your feet. So it's interesting. So here's what's interesting about Thailand too, is that, you know, I mean, there's a lot to be said for personal accountability, right? So it's kind of like, you know, if you go swimming here, yeah, you're gonna hurt your feet, and you know, you don't really need to notify people of that. Oh yeah, there's some glass. That's a little bit of a disappointment, and that's actually quite rare. That's another thing that I have noticed in Thailand. So Gracie and I now have our paparazzi. All right, to be fair, Gracie has her own paparazzi. I have no doubt the guy was like, I gotta take pictures of this farang. There you go. That's a pretty good one right there.
Oh, I'll be safe here?
Yeah, of course.
I'm the model.
You are. You're the model of the park. But we probably need to get an action shot, so you probably need to do a little bit more swinging than that. So that's something you don't see a lot of, actually, unless it's like a commuter boat type thing, which is a dual hull catamaran type motorboat. Right out there. Can't really see through it as it hasn't really turned, but maybe you can make it out. If it keeps turning, then we'll be able to see right through the center of it. But yeah, dual hull. Oh, you gave up? The tamarind? Oh, the fruit, or the fruit that's available from that tree?
So,
Where?
if I get one, then I can...
You want to get that? Because why?
I'm gonna eat it.
You eat it? Just like raw, like right off the tree? What's in it? Fruit?
Oh, there's the big one. Luckily he's not here. Good job.
Okay, so now you have what now? Tamarind? And you just,
You use this for like sour soap? It's tamarind.
and
It's
so,
sour.
but it tastes good.
You use this for soup, like this is the flavor that they put in tom yum soup.
Oh, so it's like,
So it will
bitter.
be sour.
so it's sour, yeah.
It's bitter, it's sour.
All right. Well, Gracie's got lunch. Direct from nature. As we make our way to the viewpoint. Okay, so now the other side of that rock that we were walking towards, as we walked towards it, it said 200 meters. And then on the back side of it, it said 120 meters. This now says 140 meters on the front side and 140 meters on the front side and 180 is barely visible on the back side. So, that tells me that we're decreasing in number, and approximately 120 meters we should reach a viewpoint. You all right? Yeah, right. Well, as you can see, Gracie has gotten some natural fruit that is adding no value. We have now also 120 meters, just in case we forgot from the previous rock. And more swings, which is very nice. And a lock, just in case, I guess. Not quite sure why you'd need that. But, oh, and then there's some folks up here, so I'll walk past those people and not disturb them with my voice. So even though it's sour, you're still enjoying it.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C is in tamarind. Okay, good to know. Didn't know that. So Gracie right now is live on Facebook. I don't know if you could tell from the clarity of this water, but it's pretty clean. And obviously there's not a whole lot of wind, not a whole lot of current going on. So luckily it's not the middle of April, when it would be significantly hotter. But as mentioned in a previous video, and in comparison to the churn that occurs in the water from Cha'am, over here you get a lot more calm water, and therefore a lot more lack of sediment in the water, so it's a lot more beautiful. This is kind of neat, how this bamboo just sort of, or how they've probably done this. This is probably a man-made walkway. So this indicates we have how much further to go? 20 meters, apparently. 20 more meters to the viewpoint. All right. Let's see what happens once we make that 20 meters. Tropical rainforest. This is a tropical rainforest. No climbing without permission. So, according to this, it's a tropical rainforest. And unfortunately, all of this is in Thai. But the viewpoint is right here. See? And look at my model. There you go. Ta-da! Good job. There you go. We've made our way all the way around this bay on the motorbike. Yesterday we were on the top of that giant temple. Earlier this morning we were all the way over there on that beach. And this is the Forest Park area over here. This is our viewpoint. This is the ceremonial rock on the viewpoint.